Hello shopaholics, I'm Carolyn, and just like you, I love fashion and I love clothes, and just like some of you, I love them maybe just a little bit too much. For years, thrifting was my cardio, so every weekend I'd hit vintage stores and come home to film endless hauls of clothes I mostly never wore. It felt like a treasure hunt, and while I did find some gems that became staples in my wardrobe, the majority of the clothes I got just served the purpose of filming a haul or being shown off online somehow. So why? Why would I spend so much money on clothes I never wore, you ask? Well, shopping was fun, and it did give me a rush. A short-lived one, but rush nonetheless. But then it got worse, because I discovered online shopping. No money, no bills, no transactions, just a little click, and it was mine. It didn't even feel like I was spending money. And while I never got myself into debt or anything like that, I did notice something peculiar. I'd get a package, open it, admire my brand new item for like 5 minutes, and then toss it around in the house and forget about it. One day I even found a shoebox with brand new boots inside I had zero recollection of buying. And that stuck with me. How was that even possible? I remember seeing these boots online, loving them, feeling like I needed them just to forget about them. It made no sense to me. Then I looked at my closet. And it was chaotic. Nothing matched. Prints I hated. Cuts I never wore. But it made me realize something. Fashion is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to lift us up and make us feel like the most radiant, most confident version of ourselves. But fashion doesn't end the moment we buy something to add to our closet. That initial decision, that yes, I'll take it moment, it needs to be intentional. Because if it isn't, you end up with a pile of clothes but no wardrobe. So one day I got fed up, grabbed a few bags and donated 90% of my closet. And it was terrifying. I didn't even have enough clothes to go to work for a week without having to repeat outfits. But their absence also gave me clarity, so I started rebuilding intentionally, strategically, like a version of me that's not trying to fit into some aesthetic core.
Chapter 1.
So let's be real, if it's been hanging in your closet for over a year untouched, it's not waiting for the right moment. The right moment is long gone, it's just dead weight by now. And I'm not talking about that rare dress that you love and want to wear to weddings. I'm talking about those pants that you haven't fit in since 2019, or that jacket you got because someone on TikTok said, it's giving Paris, or that weird blazer that you keep around just in case you get a job in fashion. Well, not gonna happen. And I'm a bit of a hoarder. I struggle to let things go because I keep stuff around just in case it becomes trendy again, so then I will have a true vintage piece in my closet. But that also meant that every time I had to move, I had to carry around bags and bags and bags of clothes that I basically never wore. It was a bit insane, to be honest. When I first started decluttering, it was just about space. I had gotten a bunch of new things and I just wanted to make space for them in my closet. But then it became more. It became about permission. Permission not to dress as an older version of myself. Permission to stop hoping clothes would turn me into someone else. And permission to let go of pieces that only work on a Pinterest board. Of course you can keep a few fun or whimsical items, but your closet should be a mirror, not a fantasy. It should reflect who you are or who you're becoming, but not a past version of you. So goodbye 2007 beret, we had our fun.
Chapter 2.
So considering where I started, once the excess was gone, I was left with, well, not a lot. But what I chose to keep was interesting, because it wasn't fashionable, trendy, colorful, or aesthetic core. It was just simple, neutral, wearable. I go to work incredibly early. Most mornings I'm just getting dressed, half asleep, cup of coffee in my hand, and getting ready to run out the door as soon as I can. So I want to be able to trust that if I throw something on, it will work. And that's when it clicked. I don't need a Pinterest board in my closet. I need something that fits my life. And that's why I chose neutrals. Everything matches, I don't have to think in the morning, and it's a timeless form of elegance. Think Carolyn Bessette. But, and this is key, you don't have to choose this palette. Your palette should reflect you. What stayed in your closet after your purge? What makes you feel good, confident, and like yourself and not someone you saw in a reel? That's your palette, not the trend of the moment, but the tone of your life.
Chapter 3.
At one point, I tried chasing every trend I saw online. I've been every version of the algorithm. You name it, I probably thrifted it. But here's the thing, trends move way too fast for me to follow. But my closet, my budget, and my mornings, well, they don't. Sometimes I'd wear something that was trending and I'd feel like I was playing dress up for someone else's life. So when it was time to rebuild, I thought I should stop dressing for the feed and start dressing for the life I actually had. So what do I actually like? Well, I had 70 pairs of jeans at one point, so clearly I'm a jean girl or a pants girl. I hate wearing high heels, so why would I even need pumps? What makes me feel calm, sharp and confident? That's your style, and that doesn't expire every 3 months. It builds strategically, intentionally, not for the scroll, but for yourself.
Chapter 4.
When I used to thrift, it was all about the look. If it photographed well, it had an interesting cut or a bold detail, into the basket it went. But over time, those pieces were the ones I actually wore the least. Because no matter how fun or interesting something looked on a hanger or on someone else's body, if it felt scratchy, stiff or plasticky, I just didn't want it on my skin. And as years went by, those pieces ended up at the bottom of the pile. So I flipped the script. I want to say I touch fabric before buying something, but that wouldn't be true because I live in a very small town, so most of the things I buy online. But I do pay very close attention to the composition tag. Every garment you have has a composition tag that will tell you exactly what it's made of. So I don't care how cute a sweater looks. If it's polyester, sayonara, not for me. Natural fiber, softness, movement, that's what I crave for now. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, some of these items will be even cheaper than a polyester sweater from a brand name. Pay attention to smaller shops online, to smaller brands, because sometimes they will offer higher quality for half the price. Style is not just about the look of something, the design part of a garment. It's also about how it's made, how we feel in it. And no beautiful design will ever compete with something that is well made and feels right on your skin.
Chapter 5.
I once bought a $50 trench coat from a fast fashion brand. It photographed well, looked well on the mirror, so I told myself I spend more. But over time, the fabric lost shape, it started peeling, and that's the trap, because that meant I had to spend another $50 on another fast fashion trench coat. I'm not saying every piece you buy needs to be the most luxurious or the most expensive item ever. What I am saying though is that some pieces that you will wear every single year, like a coat, maybe it's better to make an investment in so that you don't have to keep buying them. It's one thing needing to replace a t-shirt, it's another thing needing to replace trench coats or overcoats every few years. When you make the math of how much you're spending, you could have just saved the money and gone for the high quality one. So here's the difference between a fast fashion item and a high quality item. A good coat will be the cherry on top of your outfit. So while rebuilding, I had one question in mind. Will this look good next year too? And if the answer was yes, then I was willing to invest. Strategic pieces will become your everyday heroes. The blazer that makes everything look sharp, the coat that will put your entire wardrobe together, the shoes that carry you around literally without killing your feet. They don't have to be luxury, but it would be best if they were the best quality you could afford. Because the most sustainable, stylish and smart piece you own is the one you don't have to replace every few years.
Chapter 6.
Well, after the purge, I was left with not much. And yes, I did have the urgency to fill some of the biggest gaps in my wardrobe because I still had to go to work and live in society. But it was never about rebuilding overnight. It was about getting strategic pieces that allowed me to have a normal life. And then I stopped. I let my closet breathe. I gave it time. And during that time, something shifted. I started noticing a difference between the items I actually needed and the ones I only wanted because I saw online or read an article about some fashion editor that said these are the shoes for the summer. So now I have a sort of wish list in mind. Not a things I want right now list, but a thoughtful, curated plan for pieces that fit my lifestyle, my palette, and what I already own. So yes, fill some of the essentials that will allow you to go out and live a normal life, but don't go overboard. Because rebuilding your wardrobe is not about replacing, it's about redefining. And that's basically how I'm rebuilding my wardrobe, with patience, time, and strategy. It's a work in progress, but I want to feel like every new item I buy has a purpose, and every outfit feels like me or my life. Just me getting dressed in the morning, getting ready to go to work, calm, confident, and clear. If you ever stood in front of your closet and thought, I have nothing to wear, maybe it's not about having more, but it's about having less, meaning more. So, shopaholics, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, just stick around because there is more to come. Bye!